Sponsored by Chew on This Media and VideoSchool.LIVE Media. I'm Brigetti Limbanda and with me is Angeline Longshaw. And today we are here to help you get over your fear of video. For today's show, we're talking about the fear of gear. And that's because so many people let their fear of gear stop them from creating video for their business. But what exactly is fear of gear? Angeline, would you like to explain?
Sure. So the thing is that a lot of people, they won't even start to try to do video for their business because in their mind, they're just flummoxed and they're like confused and they think, oh, there's just too many things that I don't know about. I don't have the right stuff. And I think about it similar to when I started a website and my husband used to say HTML and just the words HTML, he used to just flummox me. I was just like, oh, I can't handle it. And then, after a while you realize, okay, it's just a set of letters and characters that symbolize something. So it's the same thing. It's just the idea that gets people worried. And a lot of times people say, well, I can't start to do video because I don't have the right camera. I don't have the right microphone. I don't know what backdrop I should have. I don't know all these things. And so they think that they're not ready. But actually, that's not what makes you not able to do the video. Those are excuses. So, I'm just, I'm softly saying that because I don't want to make you feel bad that you might be making excuses, but literally a lot of people, they say, oh yeah, I can't do it. And that's a fact because I don't have the right stuff. But actually it's a mindset issue. And, we're doing a lot on mindset because the fear of getting yourself on video really hurts your business these days. So we really need to kind of get over that inner dialogue talk. And some people tend to say that, it's a fact that I can't do it because I don't have the right stuff. So Brigetti and I are going to talk to you about the bare minimum because really we want you to get over that feeling of I can't do it. And it's so, so simple. So of course, Brigetti, we know that you can get tons of, tools and really expensive equipment and high-end gear. But to start, really to start on your videos on social media, to gain that visibility that you need, it's very minimum. So, Brigetti, you just started a year ago. And so tell me, did you have that fear of gear? Tell me what that was like for you and how you worked through that.
I did, I think, and you're 100% right. I did use it as an excuse because I was watching everyone else and I noticed that, they had a great microphone, they had a great camera. But then when I listened to some of the guys, they were saying, you're really using this as an excuse. And I had to analyze myself. And I realized that I was truly using this as an excuse because all the gear that you can acquire is really nice to have stuff. It takes a lot more than just the gear to get started because you can build up towards better and better gear as you can afford it. But it's not where you need to start. You need just the very minimum basics. In fact, most people when they start, all they need is just their mobile phone. But when you're ready to switch up the gear, that's when you can start with some of the gear that you've got I think you're wanting to show some of the gear that you've got there that we can use to improve. And here's the key. The gear is to improve the quality of your broadcast. It's not going to help you to broadcast. It doesn't make you a good speaker or a good presenter or a good broadcaster. They're additional add-ons that you can add later. So don't allow your fear of gear to hold you back from starting to show who you truly are.
And that's a really key thing that you just said, to show who you truly are, because you can have the best equipment and you can be perfectly polished in your performance. And then, you're not connecting with the audience. So, we're also helping you to be authentic in what you're doing and being real in order to really connect. And Brigetti has really come a long way you can see she's totally comfortable. She's herself. You can feel who she is. And so let's get back to the gear. I just had to throw that in. As a professional broadcaster that I am, if you don't know me, I'm an Emmy-nominated TV producer from Hollywood. I did news and life and shows for lifestyle shows. So the thing is, there's important things as far as the visual and the audio and the lighting. Those are the key things. But when we think of that, we think, oh, those are like major expenses. But really, like Brigetti was saying, you can use your phone. That's, the simplest thing. These phones these days have amazing cameras. Most of them, especially the smartphones. And the audio in this camera is actually fairly good. So if you're in an enclosed room, an iPad, an iPhone, or an Android phone, the microphones are actually really good. If you want to up it a little bit, you use your earbuds. Now see right here, this piece right here, that's actually a microphone. And some people that I know, I don't know if we should mention any names, they tell me, and they're really good broadcasters, Carlos Phoenix, that he prefers the earbud when he's out and about. And I mean, he has been doing video for a very long time, live streaming. And
you know what, Carlos, he only uses his iPad mainly and his phone to go live. Almost all his broadcasts are done on the go using his iPhone and his iPad. And that's a great example, and a shout out to Carlos, just to show you don't need a lot of stuff.
That's true. And he's been live streaming for decades. Is that correct? I believe.
He has.
Yeah.
He has.
He's the live streaming master. That is truly, is his brand. So anyway, the iPhone, if you have it, or an iPad, the iOS devices, Apple devices, I think they're really, really amazing cameras. And the Androids are pretty good too. So I don't have an Android, so I can't speak to that as easily. The audio's good. The earbud is good. So that's the picture and the audio. And then, Brigetti, you are on your desktop, and I'm on my desktop actually right now. The picture that you're seeing from me is my desktop, and I have a Mac. And do you have a Mac, Brigetti?
I do, yes. And what I use is I do have I've got a Logitech camera, and I started with a really cheap Logitech, to be honest. And the picture wasn't great, but I realized I shouldn't allow that to hold me back, and I didn't. And when I eventually had the funds to buy a better quality Logitech, I did. But again, I want to stress that it's not about the gear. Your confidence and your on-camera persona is not dependent on the gear. Mm-hmm. The gear is a nice to have to improve the visual, the overall picture of what your audience will see. But it's not going to give you camera confidence.
Right. The picture could be great, and if you don't have that ability to be you, then it really doesn't matter how crisp that picture is, right? Or that audio is, if you're not able to speak.
I guess it's just about perspective, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Right. But we're talking about this today because we want you to know that it is really minor, this stuff to have the gear. It's very minor. So literally the minimum is either a camera phone or a computer. Lighting would be natural light, I believe, is readily available to anyone who lives where there's sun. Right? Doesn't cost anything. And just a suggestion, you don't want to be in direct, harsh sunlight, like at noon. That will give you shadows, and that's a whole nother discussion. But try to be in indirect light. And then for lighting, if you want to up it just a little bit, I mean, I'm just giving you like some really inexpensive ways that you can do this and simple. I have this thing on my computer and I'll take it off right now. And you see the lighting changed when it was up here? So this is called a ring light, and it actually has a button back here, and you can put it on different settings. I don't know if you can see. There's off, there's white, yellow, and then there's a more yellow kind of light. So you can see when I don't have that on, and then you can see when I put that on there, it's just a little fresher, a little brighter. And so you can put that on your computer, you can put that on your phone right over the camera. So if I were to put that on my phone, I would do this. I would just put it right over here, and then see you've got the camera showing through, and then you're doing your little selfie thing. So that is and that is only $15. So really inexpensive and a great way to be mobile. Some people like to be mobile. There's a guy on LinkedIn, I love his stuff, Alan Gannett. I think it's Gannett or Gannett. And he is mobile and he does interviews all the time. And so if you want to be mobile, you just have that and your light, and you can use your, somebody's calling me. Oops, sorry. That's my sister. I have to decline her. Sorry, sister. She didn't know I'm doing a show right now. And so that's the audio. But if you wanted to up it a little bit, he uses a mic that fits into your lightning port that is a shotgun mic. Or what I love is that I have this little mobile case. It's like, feels like it's bulletproof, but it's waterproof just in case. And it's a lavalier mic. And that sounds really like fancy or crazy, but basically they call it a lapel mic too, because see this little clip? That just clips right onto your shirt. And so if you're doing an interview, you could clip it onto somebody's shirt and they can talk. Or you can even hold it like, sometimes I do this and I talk to them. I'm like, hello, here you go. And then I talk to me. And that's because it's easy. And those usually come with a windscreen. This is like a little, they call it a dead cat because it's fluffy. And you put that over there, or they come with a small windscreen. And so and this is not too pricey. This is like in the $100-something range. So it's a little bit more, but you don't need that. You really don't. And what are the other things? Let's see. Oh, here we go. If you wanted to have a more pleasant picture, then a selfie stick is really nice, because then you can hold it. You can aim it toward your guest. You can aim it toward yourself, or a two-shot, which is both of you in the shot holding it. And what's cool about this is that, look at this. I love this. So this becomes a tripod, and it extends, it telescopes up. So you can place this somewhere, stand back. If you have a good microphone, you can talk from a distance, or it just makes it steady. I feel like when you're watching a video and it's shaky, what do you feel like, Brigetti, when you see a shaky video? What does it make?
It doesn't make for a great audience experience. So if you can, first prize is always not to hold it. If you can put your tripod down and steady it, it gives your audience a much, much better experience. I know when I watch a video and it's very shaky, it gives me a headache and I don't want to watch it. So as far as possible, try and have something steady. I totally understand. Sometimes you have a kind of, you want to do an on-the-spot report that you weren't expecting to do. Something happens and you decide, well, I'm going to go live and share this with my audience. Then it's totally understood, because you're not prepared for that.
And that's almost exciting.
And that can happen, and it's exciting. And I mean, people like on-the-spot stuff, spontaneous, because you didn't plan it. And people will forgive you for a shaky picture, because right there in that moment, getting that news firsthand, immediately as it's happening, will become more important to your audience than having a steady picture. So you just have to display good judgment, roughly.
Right. So tripod, lighting, camera, those are pretty minimal things that that are inexpensive. My tripod was $30 on Amazon, and your phone you already have, natural lighting or the ring light, and I have these lights on. I don't know if you can see these big umbrella lights that you don't have to have, but just because I have them, I use them. And I know Brigetti has a special light in her camera. What's around your neck? Tell us what's around your neck. I see something.
These are my Bluetooth. This is my Bluetooth headset. I have the one that I regularly use, but it's very hot here at the moment. So that's what I normally use. But when it's really, really hot, it's uncomfortable to wear them because I feel like, I get claustrophobic and I'm perspiring too much. So I generally will use them, but when it's very, very hot, this is my alternate headset that I'll use. And one other great tip from me as far as lighting is concerned, if you are in natural light, you need to have the light in front of you, not behind you, because if the light's coming from behind you, it's going to blind your audience and it's not going to give you a great looking picture. So that's my quick tip when it comes to lighting. And so for our next show, we're going to be talking about perfectionism, because we all have this thing that we want to be perfect. We want everything to be perfect. So next week, we're going to talk about how to get over that feeling of needing to be just perfect. And so we want to thank you for watching our show this evening. Please, if you could share, if you could like, comment, subscribe to our show, we would love that. And we will see you on the next School Live. So from me, Brigetti Laband in Cape Town, it's goodbye.
From Angeline Longshore with Chew on This Media and Brigetti from BeLive Media. This show is sponsored by. Take care. We'll see you next time on Video School Live.